Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear students, I'm Dr. Mona from HNB Garhwal University, Srinagar, Garhwal. I welcome you all in this module of Emollients and Antiperspirants and Deodorants. So dear students, in continuation to our previous modules on cosmetics and cosmeceuticals, today we are going to discuss about emollients and antiperspirants and deodorants. So this is going to be our lesson plan. So in this module, we are going to study what are emollients, antiperspirant, deodorants, what is the classification of emollients, types of emollient based formulations, what are antiperspirant common ingredients used in the same. This is going to be our lesson plan. So dear student, let us understand the emollients. What are emollients? So emollients trap moisture in the skin and it forms a protective oily layer on the outer skin which helps in skin repair and it improves skin hydration and it keeps skin soft and moist. So as we know that emollient is derived from the Latin word mollire, that means is to soften. So overall these agents soften the skin by replenishing oil and lipid. By filling the void space on the skin surface, they cover it with a protective film and trap moisture. So overall, just understand, just remember that emollients are going to keep your skin moist, hydrate, and they are going to protect the skin from various skin conditions that we will see later in this module. So once applied to the skin, the occlusives present in emollient form a oily layer over the surface which effectively prevents the water loss, as I said earlier. So the more lipid in the formulation, the greater is the emollient effect. So dear students, please remember that emollients are used as an excipient in the cosmetic preparation as well as they can be used individually to protect the skin from dryness and from the other skin associated conditions which we will see. So now we are going to define the emollients. That emollients can refer to a product such as moisturizer or an ingredient in the product. So the key ingredient in the moisturizers are occlusive, humectants and emollients. Take example of occlusive: petrolatum, waxes, humectant. You are already familiar with the humectant like glycerin, urea, and emollients, alcohol and esters. Emollient as skin protectants. So emollients are going to protect your skin. This we are well known of, and whenever the skin protection is needed for soft and flexible skin, so it requires the water content between 10 to 15%. So there are a number of potential causes of skin barrier defects, including genetic causes like eczema, psoriasis, ichthyosis, medical conditions associated like diabetes, thyroid disease, external conditions when we apply the harsh soap and detergent and our skin becomes dry, and there are some environmental conditions like cold weather. Our skin becomes very dry and rough in the cold weather, so we need to apply the again and again we apply the moisturizer. So emollient there plays an important role to keep our skin soft. Okay, so commonly used emollient ingredients include shea butter, mineral oil, lanolin, paraffin and beeswax. Now, moving to the classification of emollients. Dry emollient, astringent emollient. Dry emollient, you can see isopropyl palmitate and isostearyl alcohol. Astringent, cyclomethicone, dimethicone, isopropyl myristate and octyl octonate. Two different classes, fatty emulsions and protective emollients. Okay, fatty emollients, castor oil, glyceryl stearate, jojoba oil, octyl stearate and propylene glycol. Protective emollients like diisopropyl dilinoleate and isopropyl isostearate. So this is the classification of emollients. What are different types? Now moving to types of emollient based on the formulation. See, based on the formulation, how we can classify emollients. Like the very first, we will see ointments. So, an ointment base is anhydrous with up to 80% of the oil and it consists of a semi-solid mixture of hydrocarbons. For example, white, yellow, soft paraffin. So suitable, this ointment type preparation is suitable for dry skin condition in soles and palms. So dry skin condition associated in the sole generally and the palm. So this is suitable for those conditions, and these are very greasy, free from preservatives and suitable for sensitive skin. So this is about ointment based emollient preparations. So moving to next, cream. A cream is a semi-solid formulation that contains the drug dissolved or dispersed within the base. It spreads very easily and it is good for daytime use as they are not greasy and they absorb quickly. So emollient formulation, next we will see lotion. Lotion, they spread very easily spreadable and less moisturizing than thicker product. Okay, because they quickly get absorbed, so they are not going to retain on the surface of the skin for a longer time. That's why. So useful for application in hairy or damaged areas of skin. It requires frequent applications as compared to the cream and ointment. Why it requires frequently application? Because it is going to absorb very fast as compared to the cream and ointment. And when we compare these three, cream, ointment and lotion, so ointment is more greasy. The viscosity of ointment is less, very less as compared to the lotion, okay, and cream. Emollient formulations like soap and shampoos. The everyday use of shampoo and soap. Shower gel can remove the skin surface layer of the natural oil and can aggravate the long-term skin conditions as eczema. If we are going to use continuously for years together shampoos and soap on daily basis, so it is going to result in some kind of eczema. So this substitute nourishes the skin with little drying effect. So emollients, though they have less foam producing tendency, so they are going to cleanse the skin and hair to that much effectively as other shampoos and soap does, and they are going to affect, means they are not going to harm your skin as the shampoos and soaps does. Sprays. So these normally contains white soft paraffin and or liquid paraffin in a solvent which evaporates when applied to the skin. Spray foam, simple. Okay, so good for hard to reach areas, for sore and infected skins that shouldn't be touched. So dear students, moving to the application of these emulsion. emollients. Okay, so application of emollients, like it is used as moisturizer. It is going to prevent your skin, uh, it is going to protect your skin with the eczema, psoriasis at any age, and people with the eczema and psoriasis can find soap too drying for the skin. So many bar soaps, liquid soaps and cleanser and perfume product can irritate the skin. So emollient soap are going to substitute these products and do not form the foam. So but they clean the hands and skin. So they can be applied before washing or in the water. Okay, so another application of emollient is it is going to prevent the atopic dermatitis. So this skin condition is associated with the more use of harsh detergent and soap. It is confirmed in larger trials that emollient therapy from birth would be a simply and cost-effective intervention that could reduce the global burden of allergic disease also. So another application, aqueous cream and emulsifying ointments, they are good alternative for, as I said, for the hard soaps and detergent. As emollient creams are less greasy than ointment, so it is preferred over the normal creams and ointments. So for children who are at risk of developing the infected eczema, emollient bath additives or bath oils are added to the bath water. They help in the prevention of loss of moisture from the skin. So dear student, these are few applications of emollients. So that if you want to go through in detail, please go through in detail and refer the references which are mentioned. Now, what are the things to consider about emollient? They should be applied and massaged gently in smooth downward stroke in direction of the hair. So, because if we take example of ointment, so it is going to irritate your skin if we use the ointment over there. So, applied as often as needed. So if we take example of lotion, so please do lotion is applied 3 to 4 times a day. Okay, so it can be increased depending upon one's skin condition. Avoid massaging cream or ointment too thickly, as this can block the hair follicles and trap heat, and finally it causes the itching. So ointment should be applied less often than the creams. So these are few things to consider regarding the regarding the formulation based emollient preparations. So dear students, now next in this module we are going to study about antiperspirants and deodorants. See, deodorants are personal care product and are applied topically to minimize the odor caused by a bacterial breakdown of perspiration. So, as they are classified as cosmetics by the US FDA and typically contain an odor masking fragrance, they generally formulated in the form of a solid aerosols or liquid base. So, dear student, sweat itself is odorless. So when we perspire, the bacteria digest the fat and protein in our sweat. The result is the unpleasant smell. So we have to come to associate with sweat or body odor as well as itchy armpits from irritation pits. Okay, so deodorants, they act in a two-way process by covering a bad odor with a pleasant fragrance and by attempting to eliminate the bacteria causing the smell in the first place. Okay. So as I said, sweat itself is odorless. So what are the reasons then behind the unpleasant odor. So decomposition of proteins, combined action of food and physical and psychological conditions, lower fatty acid, steroids and lactones. Okay, so these are few conditions now which makes the unpleasant odor in depending on the individual's condition. So what antiperspirant and deodorants are going to contribute here. So we will see in next slide. Antiperspirants, they are the product which work by inhibiting perspiration, which is necessary component for the growth of the bacteria. So they affect the function of the body by reducing the amount of sweat that reaches the skin surface. So how does a antiperspirant works? So when the antiperspirant is applied on the skin surface, its ingredients, which is usually aluminum salt, dissolve in the sweat or moisture on the skin surface. So the gel, which is temporarily plug and it blocks the sweat gland on the skin, reducing the amount of the sweat that seeps through. So this is how antiperspirant are going to work. So now we will see the common ingredient and antiperspirant and deodorant. So dear students, with exam point of view, now we are going to discuss the common ingredients. So please do remember these ingredients as an individual so that you can recall whenever it comes in the form of a multiple choice question. You can easily recall that this particular ingredient is antideodorant, antiperspirant, and whether it is used as a emollient. So we are going to discuss. So please remember all these things. So the very first, aluminium and aluminium chloride, aluminium zirconium. See, this is the most important ingredient in antiperspirant product and it produces gel from our sweat which clogs up the gland and prevents further sweat from coming onto the skin. Okay, so first ingredient, remember aluminium, aluminium chloride, aluminium zirconium. Next is baking soda. Okay, so baking soda is also known as sodium chloride, changes the pH balance of the skin and it makes it impossible for the bacteria to reproduce and prevent body odor. So, and the disadvantage of it is it can cause little irritation. Next ingredient is triclosan. Okay, so triclosan, this is the compound which is an antibacterial agent. It's present in a lot of antiperspirant and deodorant product and it reduces the bacteria on the surface of the skin. Yeah, very commonly used ingredient. Okay, so this is an absorbent. It is used as an absorbent ingredient and it's help in getting rid of excess moisture and sweat which is generally applied after the bath. It is going to absorb the wetness of the body. Okay. Alcohol. A lot of antiperspirant and deodorant products contain alcohol. So it helps by absorbing the sweat and delivers the aluminum or that compound to our sweat gland more quickly. And sterile alcohol, cetyl alcohol are the example of this category. Next is triethanolamine and diethanolamine. These chemicals changes the pH balance of the skin and make the environment hostile to bacteria. Okay, so however they can become toxic to the body if they absorb for a longer period of time. Parabens, these are included in several antiperspirant and deodorant preparations. They help to ensure the product will last for a longer time. Masking essence. Other strong overriding essence of pleasing type may be used to mask bodily odor. Generally, synthetic plant aroma or plant extracts are used for this purpose. Okay, now moving to the types of deodorant and antiperspirant. Dear students, there deodorant and antiperspirants are both found in the soap and both found in the shops and in online market in a variety of different forms. So each of them accomplishes their primary goal, either deodorizing or reducing the sweat secretion. Okay? And has a few advantages and disadvantages. So what are these types of products? So let's see. Antiperspirant and deodorant stick. You might have seen the roll-on stick that is applied in underarm to reduce the underarm wetness and to control the body odor. These products are made by blending active ingredient with the waxes, oils and silicones and molding the mixture into a stick form. So what are the advantages? Fast to apply, strong fragrance, can be used easily and portable. And disadvantage of this type of deodorant sticks are they can cause sticking and staining sometimes. Spray, very popularly used deodorant form. Spray, they like aerosols can to spray their solution right onto the skin. So it's a little harder to over apply these kinds of product, like what are the advantages, and it is very common form of the deodorant and antiperspirant product category. Advantage: fast to apply, dries and works very quickly, portable. And disadvantage are it can accidentally it can be harmful if it is not used properly, like if it is not used at the required surface area. Gel deodorants and antiperspirants are the most recent type to become common in the market, and they make use of a softer and more liquidly substance that is rubbed on the armpit skin. So gels, the advantage of gels are transparent color, hence no chances of staining, often refreshing to the skin, and the disadvantages can feel sticky if applied on the wet surface. So this is the disadvantage of gel. So now deodorant versus antiperspirant. So dear students, deodorant does not reduce the amount of sweat, where antiperspirant reduces the amount of sweat secretion. And deodorant, it contains absorbent, fragrance and germicide, and antiperspirant, it contains fragrance, absorbent, astringent is the added ingredient in antiperspirant. Deodorant is not an antiperspirant, okay, but antiperspirant can play both the roles, okay. It can also play the role of deodorant. So these are the references. Please go through from these references. So now coming to the summary of this module. So dear students, in this module we have discussed about emollient, which is an important ingredient of moisturizer also, okay, and it can be used individually. So emollients, they are part of cosmetics, so do not confuse. They are part of cosmetic preparation, as well as they can be used individually to protect the skin from dryness and from the different skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis and different conditions we discussed. So, and we also discussed the classification of emollients, as well as we discussed the different type of formulation based emollient preparation, ointment, lotion, okay, and creams. We have discussed these preparations which are emollient preparation, and emollient is not harsh for the skin. It do not produce foam as the soaps and shampoo and other preparation, so it can be a easy substitute of those, and which is not going to harm your skin, okay. And in this module we also discussed about antiperspirant and deodorant. So how antiperspirant and deodorant are used in cosmetic preparation, what are different ingredients used as antiperspirant and deodorant, okay, and their application part. So dear student, please go through from this module and the references, and stay tuned for more videos on cosmetics and cosmeceuticals, and thank you for watching this video.